Every year in the United States, over 6 billion individual beans are canned and sold. In fact, 14% of Americans consume beans every day. Beans. They're everywhere, aren't they? But no one ever takes the time to think about them. I'm Chris P. Bacon, and today I'll be researching the history of canned beans. To learn more about this topic, I first went to Josh Brown, who has worked at a bean canning plant for the past decade. So, how long have you been in the bean industry?
11 years.
And how old were you when you started?
It was a cold and rainy day on October 27th, 1995. I had just turned 6, and my father had told me I needed to get a job. I didn't have much of a choice in the matter, so I went off to the canning factory. Now, a bean plant is no place for a child, so I took it into my own hands to...
Mr. Brown, I appreciate your input, but I have to be on my way.
But my story...
It's okay.
Crisp!
Oh, well, that went well. What do you mean that's all the budget we had? We're supposed to get this documentary done by next month. If we don't get it done in time, I could lose my job. We could both lose our jobs. Oh, what are we gonna do? To learn even more about the history of canned beans, I went to the creator of canned beans himself, John Beans. Oh, how's it going? So, what gave you the idea for canned beans?
Well, there was a great famine in the land, so I had to find some way to feed my children.
What a noble act.
Well, at first it was just a substance to force down those little rascals' throats. But it turns out people really like beans.
Well, thank you for coming.
And thank you for having me.
I had gotten a fair amount of information from John Beans, but I needed to delve deeper into the sea of information that is canned beans. So I went to my local library to do some more research on the history of canned beans. I thought I had done all the research I could, but then it hit me. I discovered a record of employees at the nearest bean canning plant and discovered a man by the name of Grogstart Pavolion who worked in the cleaning department. And I knew I had to learn his story. So what exactly do you do at the canning plant? Fascinating. What else do you do there? Well, thank you. This has been very productive. I learned everything that could be learned about canned beans. My knowledge had reached levels no one ever thought possible. I was the most powerful man in the universe, and no one could ever make a documentary better than mine. What are you doing here? We finished the documentary, it's perfect. You know what? I'm done. The documentary is over, and no one can tell me otherwise.